Hey, what's up, guys? We're ready to go live here. Just a reminder that tomorrow at 9 a.m. we'll be live on this same channel. Okay, we're doing some live trading. Today we got 60 pips. We won 60 pips today. We're up over 500 pips for the week. So tomorrow's Freaky Friday. I usually take it a little careful on Friday. Fridays aren't that good because there's not as much volume. Especially you could get stuck in a trade in the afternoon, the whole market just dies. But yeah, we got big announcements tonight. Big announcements this week. Sosana is launching this week. Okay, you got till Saturday to get in at the Founders Special for $99 for lifetime. Okay, so it's urgent if you want to get in, unless you want to pay $250 and then $150 every year after, or you could just pay $99 one time. Up to you guys. Okay, the coin is going to start shooting up once we have the first vote. I believe the coin is going to fly. But that's just my opinion. That is not financial advice. But it's already up. But anyway, guys, they're going to come on any second now. They're usually right on time. So just want to say hello to you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live stream for trading, guys. Here they come. See you tomorrow, guys.
Hello, everybody. Sosana family, welcome. Welcome, new members. Welcome, everybody, to the call. We are going to get the call started here in about 60 seconds or less. And if you're in the general chat, you can introduce yourself as always. Tell us where you're from. If you're outside the country, tell us what time it is where you are. And just get ready for this call. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Charles. Ready in Tampa. All right, Chicago. What's up? Hey, Pips, Syndicate, Puffin, how you doing? Hello from Boring. Is that what that says? Boring, Missouri. Hey, I live in Missouri. Sick of this cold.
Already said it.
I'm gonna try to go somewhere. Yeah, that's good, Victor. But you can still stay warm. Make some more of that sushi that you like to make. $11 p.m. in Brazil. Great to have you, Tom. Vancouver, Canada. Welcome. Just a few seconds, folks, and we'll get this Thursday night last call of the week started. Can't believe it's Thursday. That's crazy. Amazing how that happens all of a sudden. You look up and it's Thursday. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the call started. I think we've given everybody plenty of time.
Recording in progress.
All right, hello, everybody. Welcome to the call. Welcome, Sosana family. Welcome, new members. And those of you listening live, as well as those of you who now, well, not now, but will be listening to the recording, welcome to you. And we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. What I wanted to bring out tonight at this point, I think right now, this is just a really good time to just really, for many of you, it's going to be, let's go over the vision again. You know, what is Sosana? What makes it special? And I want to kind of get into that. You know, there's no reason to go through updates and stuff like that. You guys already know everything's going. The system is live. You guys can nominate, and soon you're going to be voting. And so what are we doing now? We are actually building towards the first election. That's what we're doing. We're just not waiting around. We're building towards that first election. We're letting everybody know, hey, we are live February 7th. We will be revealing all of the nominated projects. And then, of course, we're going to have that voting process, that 48-hour window where everybody's going to be voting, picking their favorite project, and then the big reveal that comes Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And there you have it. It's going to be an exciting time. And from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., people are going to be able to decide if they want to add that project to their portfolio. If you voted for the winner, it's already in your portfolio, right? It's just a matter of time. It's going to be airdropped to you. You'll be able to claim that, and off to the races. And I'm telling you, we're going to make history, folks. You know, come February 7th, we are going to make crypto history. We're going to do something that's never been done in crypto history. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But I say we start the fun now. Let's dream a little bit. Let's talk about what's going to happen. What we believe is the future and the vision of Sosana. Remember why we got this started. Okay, we started out as what we thought when David called me one day. It was over a year ago. Unbelievable that that's the case. I mean, I can't even believe it's Thursday, let alone it's been a year, over a year. And he thought he had a great idea for a meme coin, because what's going on in the Solana space? The Solana network is filled with thousands and thousands of meme coin projects every day. And because of that, David came up with an idea that was kind of perfect for a meme project, and he was going to call it Sosana. So he told me it's called Sosana. I'm like, well, what does that mean? He goes, shiny object syndrome and nothing accomplished, which I immediately started laughing, because I'm like, that is so true. That's like the essence right now. And I knew it was in the Solana network because of the name of it, right? Sosana on Solana. And so I thought, okay, that's really funny. Well, what are we going to do to get it to develop? Well, David goes to work. He put together this awesome website. If you go to sosana.io, you can see it. It's funny. It's relevant. It's entertaining. And that's what you want in a meme coin project. But folks, what we developed this into and what this evolved into is just so much more than a meme coin. That's where it started. Sosana is no longer a meme coin project at all. It's evolved into something that we believe is the #1 solution to the #1 problem in crypto. And as I said, that is shiny object syndrome. Okay. And for most people, nothing accomplished, because as people are looking for projects to get involved in, what do they all have in common? #1, they're looking for quality projects, and they're trying to get into those projects as soon as possible, because they want to buy low and sell high. They want to make a profit. That's what everybody's after. And so what we did is we created a safe haven. And this safe haven is where, as our community gets together and people come in, as you know, typically in any other crypto project, you have people buying the token, and you're growing your holders, you're growing your community. And of course, in that sense, we're no different. But here's where we're really special and really different, is our community's coming together with one goal, and that is to solve the problem of shiny object syndrome by coming together where there's strength in numbers, where we know the bigger our community gets, the faster it grows, and the better we get at the process of finding quality projects. How do we do that? Well, we implemented a voting mechanism that we put in place, and it really all begins with this amazing idea that we came up with, where we have what's called a 3% transaction tax. That means every time there's a buy, every time there's a sell, and even a transfer, there is a 3% tax. Now, I'm like you guys. I don't like taxes any more than anybody else. I don't like taxes. But let me tell you something. Like the professor says, and I'm going to bring him out too if he's on the call. I just want to see. Yeah, I know he's out there. Professor, I'm going to just make it so that you can come out as well. He loves the Sosana tax. We absolutely love what we've brought. Why? Because this particular tax is what turns around and actually serves the community. How does it do that? Well, let's talk about that. And I'm going to bring some people out that I haven't. I apologize, doing that last second. Bringing you on too, Keith, so you can be out there. But what does that mean? Okay, what it means is this. There's a few things that are happening in the industry that many of you may not even be aware of, and that is you're being taxed already. If you think you're buying a project, especially in the Solana space, because on the Solana network, we have this place where it's fast, it's efficient. That's the reason why the Solana project right now is the #7 project in all of crypto, because it's incredibly fast, it's incredibly efficient, and it's also extremely easy for the average person to actually launch their own crypto project. Okay, but what comes with that is the challenge. Like we said, the shiny object syndrome. There's thousands of projects coming out on the Solana network every single day, not every month, right? Not every week. We're talking about every single day. Thousands of projects, and we know that 99.99% of those projects are not quality projects. Most of them don't even have dev teams. They're just throwing stuff out there. And a 3% tax is very important, because even if you are in the Solana ecosystem looking for projects and thinking, I found a project, I really like it. Oh, look, it has no taxes, there's no fees, which is the beautiful thing about Solana, is because it's cheap. You can send Solana anywhere in the world and it costs pennies, like it's almost nothing, right? But what comes with that whenever you get into transacting and buying those token projects is you're going to pay what I call the bot tax. And the bot tax means that if you've ever gone into any of these decentralized exchanges and their charts, like if you go to Dex Screener, you'll see this order flow and you'll see a lot of bots coming in and out of that chart where you'll see, oh, look, there's a $10,000 buy. Wow, I'm great. Someone just bought $10,000 worth of my project. And then 15 seconds later, that same wallet sells $10,050 worth of tokens, the same number of tokens they bought, where they're literally leeching off of the liquidity pool, which taxes the whole community. Now, most people aren't aware of that. We're very aware of that. And what we love about the 3% transaction tax that we have with Sosana is that we've made it so that it feeds the community rather than leeching from the community. And here's how it works. 1% of that 3%, meaning a third of that 3%, that 1% goes into what we call the stability wallet. So every time there's a buy or sell transaction, it's feeding 1% of that transaction into the stability wallet. The stability wallet is there for the purpose of building up the community and making our Sosana token more stable. Okay, that's the purpose of it. And that's like the simple rundown of what that is. The other 1% is divided in two. 0.5% goes to marketing. So 1/2 of 1% of that 3% goes to marketing. Now we are going to be in the future launching marketing campaigns, which is of course in the community's best interest. That all of that money is 100% earmarked towards marketing the Sosana project, which helps everybody. Okay. The other 0.5% goes into another utility, but let me explain this first before I even mention that. The third 1%, that 1%, the third, this is what you want to pay very close attention to and what's so special about Sosana. That 1% goes into what we call a degen voter pool. What does that mean? Remember I told you we have a voting mechanism. And what this means basically is if you're holding at least $500 worth of Sosana, you can nominate your favorite project on the Solana network. Because let's face it, yes, 99.9% of those projects are not good, but there's also still a lot of really quality projects coming out and that are on the Solana network. And because of shiny object syndrome, a lot of really quality projects are not even getting seen. They're not even getting noticed. So what we're doing is we're allowing people that are holding at least $500 worth of Sosana to nominate their favorite project during this 2-week phase, which we're currently in right now. Remember, February 7th is when the vote starts. But also on February 7th is when all of those nominated projects come together and we bring forth through our internal algorithm, not something that we do manually. It is an algorithm that we bring out the top 25 projects that have been nominated. The goal is to nominate the 25 projects for the community, right? To give you access to, as a member, to vote on these projects, to decide which one of these projects you think is the most quality project. And here's what's amazing. You only have to hold $50 worth of Sosana in order to vote. Now think about that. You hold $50. This isn't pay to play. This is hold to play, right? So you're just holding $50 worth of Sosana, which allows you to connect your wallet to our dApp, right? And on that dApp, you can go in on February 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you're going to see those 25 projects, and you're going to be able to place your vote over a 48-hour window. So from Saturday 7 p.m. to Monday 7 p.m. Eastern, you have that 48-hour window to vote for your project. Now, here's what's amazing. As you know, during this 2-week process, and every 2 weeks thereafter, that 1% continues to flow into what we call the degen voter bonus wallet. And we know that as the community gets bigger because of that, we know that that wallet's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it's going to reach what we call a tipping point. But before I even get into that, I want to tell you how amazing this reward concept is, because think about it. When have you ever heard of a project in cryptocurrency history where all you've got to do is hold $50 worth of that native token, that particular token, in order to participate in an amazing reward? And here's how that works. All of the people who vote for the token project that wins the election are going to get airdropped a reward, because that degen pool that's been growing that entire time during the nomination process during the election process. It's going to grow to a certain point, and then the community is going to decide which project the DGen pool is actually going to go out onto the decentralized exchange and buy that token. And not only is it going to buy that token, it's going to airdrop that token to all the people in the community who showed up and voted for that winning token. So therefore, the people that voted for the winning token are going to actually receive a reward just for participating in that process. It's incredibly rewarding, but remember the purpose of it. Remember, not just to earn rewards, but most importantly, to throw out the shiny objects and uplift as a community the most quality project that the community chooses. And you get to potentially, in that case, build your portfolio for free if you happen to vote for that winning token. Now, I want you to think about the synergy of this. It's incredible. Because as I told you before, we're going to reach what we believe will become what we call a tipping point. What do I mean by that? That means at some point, we know in this process, as we go election after election after election, we know at some point that wallet is going to get so big that it's going to have a tremendous impact on the project that the community chooses in that election. We have 25 nominated projects. And those nominated projects are going to be forged through that election process where the most quality project is going to be chosen by the community. And let me just stop right there. And I want you to think about this. Isn't that an amazing place you can be to find quality projects? Think about it. And why are you in crypto? Because you want to find quality projects. So we think that Sosana is the answer to the shiny object syndrome. Because of that alone, we want to help the community and enable them as a community where there's strength in numbers. And the bigger our community gets, we know that the more we believe that process will be more and more refined over time. And we think the community will be introducing and electing more and more quality projects as we go. And isn't that exciting? I mean, I've never seen a crypto community that has a utility where people we believe are going to continue to come back over and over. It's not just a token. When you get into any other crypto project, I want you to think about this. Why do you get into it? You get into it to buy either the coin, if it's a layer 1, or the token, if it's a layer 2, because you hope and you believe that that token is going to grow in value. And that's the number one reason that you're there. And for most cases, it's the only reason you're there. But that's not so with Sosana. Think about it. With Sosana, what's very different is not only are you guys going to have access to that on steroids, in my opinion, because of what we put together, but at the same time, something new every 2 weeks that no other crypto project can ever boast. We have something new for our community every 2 weeks. So you're not going to see people, we believe, just come in and say, man, I'm going to buy some of that token, and once it gets to a certain point, I'm going to sell it, and then I'm gone. I'm off to the other project. No. You're going to stick around every 2 weeks, and you're going to show up every 2 weeks. And because of that, we believe we are going to grow exponentially and go viral because of that. But there's another really exciting aspect of this that I want my partner to get into, because he does a way better job of explaining it to me. And I'm going to just unleash him on you right now. And he's going to talk about the tipping point. Why don't you just kind of go into that a little bit, Brian? What's the tipping point?
Absolutely, Mark. First of all, excellent job, man, as always, kind of painting the picture, talking about the problem, identifying shiny object syndrome. Anyone who's been in crypto for 15 minutes, you already know, right? You've already probably looked at it. You've been overwhelmed, trying to figure out what project do I put my money in. I have limited resources. There are an unlimited amount of tokens that you can actually put your money into. And every 10 seconds, once people know you're in crypto, they're hitting you up on the phone, they're text messaging you, they're emailing you, they're telegramming you, they're WhatsApping you. I just found the greatest thing. This is the next Bitcoin. You got to get in, you got to get in, you got to get in. And it can cause some serious brain cramps and brain problems, right? You trying to figure out what to get into. So you try to get in everything, try to do everything. You will win at nothing, more than likely, right? So that is the big issue. But what we're doing here, and I think that the real element here is Mark talked to you about this voting mechanism where people are going out and they're going to actually be able to look at these tokens that have passed through a vetting process with our community, where we've actually used something that I like to actually refer to as crowdsourced intelligence, where instead of just one person trying to use their brain power to figure it all out. A total group of people have gotten together in our community, and they have gone out, done their research, and figured out what are some incredible up and coming projects. They've nominated them, and then the community as a whole gets to look at those nominated tokens. They get to do their research and they get to vote. At the end of that voting period, there's going to be some winners, and that's great, right? Because what's going to happen is whatever we have in that DGen voter wallet, as Mark talked about, we are going to buy that winning token and then divide it. We're going to use that DGen voter wallet to buy that winning token and then divide the winnings evenly amongst the winning voters. So if token XYZ is the one that won, if there were 100 people that voted for that token to get it to win, if there's $100,000 in the DGen voter wallet, we will buy $100,000 of that token at 8 p.m. on Monday, on what we call Sosana Monday, right? And we will divide that 100,000 into $1,000 blocks and drop it evenly into those 100 people's wallets. They'll get that airdrop. So congratulations for them. They were able to win in that particular example, $1,000. And the only thing they had to do to win that $1,000 was one, hold $50 worth of Sosana in their wallet, which made them eligible to vote. Again, hold $50. Didn't cost them $50 to vote. Did not have to spend any of their Sosana. The same $50 that allowed you to vote 2 weeks ago is the same $50 that can allow you to vote this week and next week and next week. Holding just $50 allows you to participate in the vote. And just by holding $50, they were able to increase their crypto holdings in that example, right, by $1,000. So that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. However, here's why we say there are no losers in our system. Because yes, only the people who voted for the right token will get their free share, if you will, their winnings from that DGen voter wallet. But here's what everybody else gets. You see, if you think about the timing of it, we're going to buy that token at 8 p.m. and everybody's going to know that. And when are they going to know it? They're going to know that at 7 p.m. So I want you to think about what I just said. We're going to announce to our entire community that is qualified, right? We're going to announce them at 7 p.m. that token XYZ is the winner. And we're going to buy, and again, an example I just used, $100,000 of token XYZ at 8 o'clock, exactly 1 hour from now. Now, if you understand anything, you understand what people's goals are in crypto. You just heard what Mark said. They want to find quality projects. They want to identify them. They want to buy low. They want to sell high. You think about what drives up the price of a token. It's very simple. It's what we call buy pressure. More buying than selling makes the token price go up. More selling than buying makes the price go down. Very, very simple. Somewhat supply and demand economics is not difficult at all to figure out. Big purchases tend to make a token go up a lot. Big sales tend to make a token go down a lot. So if you know 1 hour in advance about a big purchase going into a token, there's some other elements you want to examine. But if those elements all line up, you can be pretty confident that a big purchase into that token is probably going to make the price go up. And if you know in advance that a price of a token is probably going to go up 1 hour from now, what are you likely to do before that happens? You've got an hour to figure it out, right? Most people come to the same decision. They're probably going to want to buy that token. Again, guys, from a legal standpoint, we're not allowed to tell you, go buy the token. You have to buy the token, any of those types of things, because at the end of the day, we're not allowed to make guarantees, right? So we're not going to do that. But most people we talk to, and you're probably thinking in your head right now, decide, I'm probably going to buy that token. Now, remember, that's great, but we're not just announcing that information to you. We're announcing it to our entire community of wallet holders who are qualified to get that information at that point. Anybody holding $50 or more of our token will be able to connect to our DApp and see exactly what the winning token is at exactly 7 p.m. on that Monday. And all of those people armed with that information, you might be correct in assuming they're very likely to do the same thing that you're thinking about doing. So what you end up with is from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, potentially a whole community of people getting in front of a token, right? And buying up a token at a price that they believe will be at a higher price in the very near future. And all of that buy pressure going into a token potentially driving the price up. And then at 8 o'clock, another nuclear bomb hits it when we make our purchase of that winning token in the amount of the DGen voter wallet. I want you to think about that for a second. Every 2 weeks, once you get affiliated with Sosana, every 2 weeks for the rest of your life, every 2 weeks for the rest of your life, on Mondays, every other Monday at 7 o'clock, you're going to know 1 hour in advance about a huge potential, huge purchase going into a token, and you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do with that information. But you guys can imagine, when you consider how the DGen voter wallet is funded, as Mark said, buys of Sosana, sells of Sosana, transfers of Sosana, 3% tax happening on buys, sells, and transfers. The token, whether the Sosana token is being bought or it's being sold or it's being moved, doesn't matter to the DGen voter wallet. It gets bigger and bigger when people are buying and when people are selling, right? So that will make that a larger and larger wallet. So as more and more people get excited about what we're talking about and they decide to come on board with us, as more and more people participate, as more and more people are buying the token, trading the token, selling the token, etc., that wallet will get larger and larger and larger. And there will be a time when we're not just talking about, 50,000 or 100,000, but potentially millions of dollars in that DGen voter wallet going into a token, and you know about it an hour in advance. Guys, that is going to set the world on fire. Mark made the point of saying a lot of times people will get involved with the token and they'll just say, okay, I bought it. I made, 10%, 20% return. I sold it and they're off to the next thing. But why would they not come back to Sosana every 2 weeks? Why would they ever get to a point where they said, you know what? I don't want to know an hour beforehand about a huge purchase going into a token. That information, I find it gives me too much of an unfair advantage over everyone else. I don't like unfair advantages. I don't want to know. That's never going to happen. And as a result, we're going to end up with tons and tons of people hearing about this, becoming a part of this community, grabbing, buying tokens, holding their tokens so they always have at least the minimum to be able to participate. Other people earning big time off the token as more and more people are putting buy pressure into the Sosana token itself, but also people having a way now through that crowdsourced intelligence model to identify real, serious, secure projects that they can hold in their portfolio, right? And let them grow long-term. So it's not just a short-term win for them. It's also the opportunity for them to have a long-term win by actually riding on the gains of that token because it was identified by the Sosana community. Guys, I'm telling you right now, that still is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? That's just what we're doing with what we call live tokens. We're gonna do something similar when it comes to pre-launch tokens. Of course, you'd have to be an affiliate with us to do that as well. But I tell you, when you're thinking about getting in tokens at the very best possible price, there is no better price available than the pre-launch pricing of a token before it's available to the public at large. So Mark, if you're there, man, I'm going to turn it back to you if you want to kind of talk a little bit more about the pre-launch process as well. But hey, I'm here if you need me to go over anything else.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Brian. Always do an excellent job. Appreciate that. So I want to go into some of the things that people might be going on in your mind. Some of these new people that are on the call tonight, and they're thinking, what does that mean? The volume that comes in every day, and what's the potential of that? Now, first of all, before I go into this next part of it, and for the whole entire Zoom, we are not here to give you financial advice. And Brian kind of touched on that a little bit too, right? No guarantees of income, no financial advice. That's not what we're doing. We're just showing you how our system works. And then you guys can decide what the potential is, okay? That's what that is. Now, I'm going to share the screen really quick because I want to take us to CoinMarketCap. And as you guys know, right now, the market's down. I mean, we know we've taken a major downturn in the overall market, right? And yet we still see massive volume coming in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to really take it down to some of the smaller, more insignificant projects. Because as you can see, this is the top. If you come in here to the top 100, you're going to see some pretty massive daily volume coming in. Now, we truly believe and you can decide if you believe this, we believe that Sosana is potentially a future top 10 project because of what we're bringing to the table. We believe that's possible. Will it happen? We don't have a crystal ball, but that's what we believe. Okay. So, but I don't need to go there to show you the value of when I'm talking about what that degen pool can become when it comes to volume. Okay. I'm going to go to more. I'm going to click on memes, and I'm just going to take it to meme coins. Why am I doing that? Because what makes up a lot of the Solana network is meme coin projects. There's going to be some nominated projects that are meme coins that you guys can actually look at and decide, well, maybe the utility isn't that great, but you can't argue with the potential of growth, right? Because let's face it, there's a lot of very, very successful meme coins on the Solana network, a tremendous number of them. One of the biggest ones is that official Trump coin or token, right? There's also pudgy penguins and things like that. But let's just kind of scroll down a ways to where it's not in the top. And let's just kind of go to, I mean, I'll just pick one out. It's called Comedian. See this? I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to pull it up. Comedian. I've never even seen it before. You can see the contract. It's on the Solana network, right? It is just, as far as I can tell, it's just a meme coin, okay? But take a look at this volume in the last 24 hours. Now, didn't I just tell you that we're in a down market right now? And yet they just had 6.73 million in volume. And what is that volume? Let's just take a look at the chart. Now, most of you who may not understand this fully, you might be thinking, man, you know, in the last 24 hours, if they've had 6.73 million in volume, they must be going up like crazy, but not so. Take a look at this. They're down 4.5% today in the last 24 hours. And yet they've still had 6.73 million in volume. That means buys and sells combined. They've got more sellers coming in today than buyers. And yet what would happen if we had 6.73 million in volume come in one day? What's 1% of that? Can anybody tell me in Telegram? What is 1% of 6.73 million? How much is that? Anybody want to take a guess? I'm just going to pull up a calculator and show you.
67,000.
Yep. Okay. So we have 6.73 million, right? Times 0.01. That's $67,300 a day that would be actually coming into the degen voter pool. Now, if we had that come in on average over a 14-day period times 14, you're looking at $942,000 sitting in the degen wallet. Now, if the community chooses a fairly new project that they're really excited about, that they think is a quality project, and let's just say it has a low market cap, I don't know what it is, 5 million, 10 million, whatever it is. If it's 10 million and below, and we put $942,000 into that market cap, it is going to explode that particular token project. And between 7 and 8 p.m., if the entire community is looking at this amount sitting in the degen wallet, what do you think a lot of people in the community might consider? They might consider adding that project to their portfolio before it happens. Wouldn't you agree? And what happens then? That means you have tremendous buy pressure coming from our community because they chose this project. Remember, our community chose this project as what they think is the most valuable quality project out of the 25 projects that are out there that are nominated. So not only is the buy pressure coming in from our community, it's also anticipating this $942,200 showing up on the decentralized exchange. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when's the last time you got into a project that had a low market cap, a fairly low market cap, right? And I'm not going to say how low or what it is. I can't make that prediction. But let's say it's a fairly low market cap, and you saw someone come in there and buy $942,000 of that project. When's the last time you ever saw that happen? Folks, I haven't seen that happen since the Trump token launched. And I just remember that night I saw, you know, I did see some purchases that were actually in the 7 figures. Other than that, I've never even seen it happen. Never. So we believe that as a result of this business model, that's the kind of thing that can happen with this project. Now, this is a low ranking. This is not a large token. Okay, this isn't a token. This is what, number 305? That's not a gigantic project. That's not in the top 100 or 200, not even in the top 300, right? And yet the volume is coming in there that we believe could sustain something very, very special, right? Really, really amazing. And some of these volumes you see here, honestly, I can't even believe, because you're looking at market caps here of 71 million and change, and somehow they did 101 million in volume. I don't know if that's accurate or not. It sounds crazy. And I don't even want to go to that level. But I do believe, again, without giving you guys financial advice, that we are a potential multi-billion-dollar project in the making. Let's look at another meme coin, Peanut the Squirrel. Okay, it's ranked 340. I picked it out because I happened to notice the market cap is 63 million and change. The volume that's come in is 25 million in volume. Wow, that's a lot. That's a tremendous amount for just 340. So you guys can see that the volume will happen. As we get bigger as a community, we believe as this project goes viral, we believe the volume is going to come in that is going to really shake up the entire industry. We think we're going to make waves in the entire crypto industry because of that. And let's just kind of go back to the idea of where we are right now. Again, as I show you this, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not telling you what is going to happen. I'm just going to show you the potential, right? If for those of you who know, you already realize that we have 88,888,888 tokens in our entire maximum supply of Sosana. Now, what's in circulation is a lot shorter than that. It's probably closer to somewhere between 15, maybe 16 million that are in circulation. But I'm going to give you an example of what would happen to the Sosana project if we were to obtain some of the big successes that are out there in just the meme coin industry. Let's just take a look at it. I'm going to scroll up towards the top. You see the Pepe token. What is Pepe? They currently have a market cap of $1.9 billion market cap. They're doing volume on a daily basis of $477 million a day. Do you realize that's like $4.7 million a day going into the degen pool? Can you imagine what would happen? I mean, that's just crazy, right? Crazy numbers. Again, not giving you financial advice or making predictions. I'm just saying, what if? Just bear with me for a second. Take a look at Pepe, okay? Now, if we take a look at the history of Pepe, Pepe is currently the number 40 project. I believe we are a top 10 potential. That's just my opinion, though. That's not any guarantee. It's my opinion. But if we look at the peak, you take a look at Pepe. What is Pepe? Pepe is a meme coin. And all it is a funny character. Why is it successful? Because it's a really funny character that built this big cult following. And they currently, if you look at it, I'm going to highlight it right here, they've got about 507,000 holders in Pepe, okay? 507,000. Currently at Sosana, we have just around 1,500 members holding the Sosana token, okay? And I want you to think about this. If you look at Pepe at its peak, it was over a $9 billion market cap. And look at that volume. Can you see that volume? Are you able to read that volume there, Brian, when I go to the top of that chart? You see how much volume came in 24 hours?
2.46 billion.
In one day.
Yeah.
In a single day. That is absolutely crazy. But let's get back to my point. Let's just say we reached where Pepe is now. I mean, Pepe has hit over a $9 billion market cap, but let's just say we hit 1.9 billion. Okay, well, all you got to do is take 1.9 billion, right, and divide that by the number of tokens, which, by the way, there's not near this many in circulation, but I'm just trying to be conservative. You know, it's going to take almost 6 years for all of these tokens to be in full circulation, folks. But let's just go there. Let's be conservative. Where does that put our token? We're already at $21 where the current market cap is. Now let's take it a step further. What if we reach the level of success that Pepe has? Pepe is a meme coin with no utility. Do people come back every 2 weeks looking for something brand new from Pepe every 2 weeks? Are they excited about their utility every 2 weeks? Is that what Pepe offers? I don't think so. Does Pepe offer the #1 solution to shiny object syndrome in crypto, which is the #1 problem in crypto? No, they don't. And if you have something that does that successfully, do you think we might be able to reach that kind of success? I do. I don't know if you do. But let's just go to 9 billion. Let's just say we go to 9 billion. Okay? And we divide that by our total token supply now. but not now, I'm sorry, in like 6 years. I'm saying this is not the current token supply, but I'm going to do that. This is not the current token supply. It's what we will be in 5 or 6 years from now. Check this out. We're at over $100 a token, and that's with every single token in circulation. Think about that. Now, I don't want to go into some of the numbers of where our token circulation is right now because it's ridiculous. I'm not even going to go there. But you guys can kind of do the math on your own. And again, this is just me showing you what I think the potential is. It is not a guarantee of success. It is not financial advice. It is not even a crystal ball prediction. All it is what if this happens? And it gives you an opportunity to think about where we are right now. What are we, 30 cents? I think something like that. Last time I checked, just under 30 cents.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of potential that we think it has. But listen, folks, all I did was tell you about how amazing the opportunity is just from holding the Sosana token, what we believe is the potential, right? But didn't I just say this? I'm going to say it again. We are so much more than a token project, because unlike every other project in crypto where they are just a token project, which is every other project, where that's the only financial opportunity you have with that project, we're something so much better than that. We're an opportunity that's going to constantly bring you new opportunities every 2 weeks. And eventually, once a month, we're going to give you guys access to pre-launch projects. Real quick, I'm going to run that down. Remember, I told you half of 1% goes towards another pool. This is another voting pool. We also have something we call an affiliate plan. Now, if you want to become a founder, you have between now and Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern to become a founder. It's just $99 worth of Sosana, where you can join as a founder. For that means you're a lifetime member, no annual fees, monthly fees, just lifetime member, one-time cost, $99 worth of Sosana. You become an affiliate. You come into all the benefits that we have: digital products, education, a community, a safe haven community. We all know that everywhere you turn, if you're in Telegram, is a scammer. Okay, in our community, we have built that to where it is KYC approved, where the only way you can function in our community is that you get KYC approved, which means no more scammers. Okay, the safe haven that crypto has needed forever, for years and years, they've needed this. We're going to provide to our community. But as a member of it, of the affiliate plan, you're also going to get access to voting for pre-launch projects, and this pool is going to fill up once a month. And once per month, we're going to be bringing out pre-launch projects. These are projects that come to us, these token owners, these people that come in and they say, we want to introduce our project to your community. We want to share our project. They also are going to have to be KYC approved. That means these are super quality, legitimate projects in pre-launch. Now, can you find a project any sooner than before it launches? If you think about it, can you? I mean, you really can't, right? So this is going to open the door of what we believe is going to be amazing opportunity, because when our community grows and goes viral, 10,000 members, 50,000 members, 100,000 members, we believe that's going to happen. Can you imagine the token projects clamoring to get in and bring their projects to our community? Not only in the live projects, but also what I'm talking about here, the pre-launch projects. And remember, you may be thinking in your mind, I don't want to be an affiliate. I don't want to refer people. I just want to get in. I want to vote. I want to buy the Sosana token. I love this project. It's amazing. But guess what? You got to be an affiliate just to vote for the pre-launch projects. So that means everybody that wants to participate in voting at all, in their own minds, why wouldn't they also want to become an affiliate? That's why it's so important right now that you become a founder if you haven't done so already. Okay? Get the link of the person that referred you and upgrade to a founder position, and that's your lifetime position. Otherwise, after 10 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, right? We told you guys 72 hours from the time we open nominations. Well, that comes 10 p.m. Saturday, the ship has sailed. And at that point, if you want to become a premium member, which is everything you get access to as a founder, it's $249 one time, and then it's $149 per year, which, by the way, is a no-brainer. It's still a no-brainer. It's still something everybody's going to want, right? But that's what people are going to have access to, and that's why I just want to emphasize that to you guys right now, and I wanted to tell you guys about that not only the founder position, but the benefits that you get of being an affiliate. And folks, there's more than I can even get into. David has gone to work. I'm telling you, man, he is adding features, benefits. There's a better token bureau. We think it's going to be a place where people are going to come in and give real reviews because they're all KYC. I mean, if you go to Amazon right now and you look at reviews, one of the reasons you go to Amazon is you want to see how quality a particular product is, right? What are the reviews saying? But you don't even know how many of those reviews are real. You really don't. How many of those reviews are real reviews? Well, in the Sosana community in our Better Token Bureau, every single review is real because it's KYC. People can't give reviews unless they reveal their identity. That's real, authentic, verified reviews. Has that ever happened in crypto? No. Has it ever happened in business? I don't think so. I've never seen where it's happened even in business, let alone crypto. And that's just one little aspect of the digital product access that you're going to get access to in the affiliate plan. I also want to just give a chance because we have some really awesome leaders. We've got T. Lamont. I'm going to put T. Lamont on the spot because he's with us. We call him the professor. Professor, what do you have for us tonight? Give us your perspective and what you think about Sosana, your experience.
Do me a favor, Mark. Could you go back to the coin market cap?
Yep.
Because when Keith Lacey first introduced me to you, and then you started sharing.
Actually. Yep.
And let's go back to let's go back to that page there. What I first started thinking was how I missed out on Bitcoin. My first purchase of Bitcoin was back in 2014, August of 2014. It was at $800 a Bitcoin. No, let's go back to the big board with the tower. Okay. And I saw Bitcoin come all the way down to $166. But I didn't know what Bitcoin was, and so I didn't accumulate and hold. I was earning with a company that paid me in Bitcoin, and I was converting it into usable, spendable cash. Meanwhile, a buddy of mine that I referred to that particular project, he got it, all right, and he just started accumulating Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin was at about $18,000 a Bitcoin, he calls me up and he says, "Hey man, thanks. Thank you for what?" He said, "Because of you, I'm a multimillionaire." I said, "What did I do?" He said, "You introduced me to Bitcoin." Well, I wasn't a multimillionaire, but see what? So I see Sosana as my Bitcoin. You mentioned, if we get to $100, right now it's at 30 cents. That would be a 333 time from where it is right now. Now, obviously, we can't promise that, but that would be much more than what Bitcoin was. Do me a favor, Mark. Take the current price of Bitcoin. Let's call it 82,000. It's close to that, 82,000, and divide that by 515. That's what I bought my first Bitcoin for. All right. So what this says is that What this says is that Bitcoin has grown by a factor of 159 times since I bought it back in 2014. But if Sosana goes to $100, can't promise. But if it goes to $100, based on where we are right now, so take $100, divide it by 30 cents. That's where we are right now. Well, that would be a growth factor of 333, which would far outpace what would have happened for me in Bitcoin. So that's the first thing I thought about just as a Sosana token holder. Then I started going through the big board. I look at number 2, Ethereum, and I remember a buddy of mine bought that for $1. It's now $2,700. I look at number 4, BNB. Yeah, that's huge. It divided by $1. That's crazy. All right, 2,700 times. Okay,
yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Look at BNB. If we can move our calculator just a little bit. All right, BNB is at 842. All right, so let's put in the 842. Brian, I remember when it was $8. Yeah. I remember when it was $8. I bought some. I didn't hold on to it. Okay, that's 105 times. So, what the first thing I thought was, wow, Sosana could be my Bitcoin in terms of the potential growth factor. Can't promise it. The second thing I thought was every 2 weeks, I get a chance to add to my crypto portfolio because I saw Ethereum. I saw BNB at $8. I saw XRP at a penny. I saw Tron at 3 cents. I saw Dogecoin number 9 at 0.0004 something. And I missed all of those because I just didn't get it. But every 2 weeks, there's another, and it's not just one opportunity. Every 2 weeks, we get a winner.
Right.
But there were 25 projects that were voted on. So personally, not only am I going to be looking at the number one project, I'm going to be saying, well, let's take a look at some of these other ones too. And, you know, here's my budget. Let me get some of Project 10 and a little bit of Project 9 and a little bit of Project 8. And Brian, I might not win the vote. I might not vote for the winning project. But dude, you want to know where I'm going to be on that Monday at 7 o'clock? You already know, Brian. You already know. I would have already known all the ones that got nominated. And when that one is revealed, boom, I'm hitting that button, man. I'm hitting that button well before that hour before the Degen voter wall. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Imagine this, that you go for a year, every 2 weeks for a year. So that's 26 votes, right? Every other week, 26 votes. You'll lose 26 times and you're a lot richer, right, than you were at the beginning of the year, right? I mean, this is the
potentially,
right? But I said imagine.
Right.
But I mean, this is the only place I know where you have the potential to never be right,
right,
and still have the chance potentially to financially win every 2 weeks, right? That is what we're talking about. That's why people are excited. Again, and Mark, thank you for saying that. I mean, we have to use words like potentially. Everything we do here is above board. Everything we do here is legal. But guys, the potential here, you know, could be absolutely amazing. And as you listen to other people, you can hear the excitement. You can hear why people are buzzing about it. And this is just the beginning, because the most of the world doesn't know about us yet. So when would you want to know about any crypto project that you thought was going to be big? Once it was big, right? Or when it was, you know, if the professor is talking about a potential of $100 token, do you want to know about that token when it's at $99? Or do you want to know about it when it's at 30 cents? You just got to think about that from that standpoint, about what you're trying to set up for you and your family. So I'll turn that back over to you, Mark, though.
Yep, absolutely. And so, and I'm just trying to kind of answer some of the questions that are in the chat right now a little bit. We didn't come here necessarily to open up for a lot of Q&A tonight. It's already getting up close to the top of the hour. But yeah, this is the vision, and this is where we're headed. And, you know, the synergy of what's to come. I mean, just a few little things I want you to think about. I really believe that at some point we're going to, like we talked about, we are going to hit that tipping point. We are going to get to a place where, and no one's going to say when that is, from the first election to the 12th election or the 50th election, whatever it is. We don't know what's going to happen. We can't make that prediction. But what we can tell you is we believe it will happen where the Degen pool is large enough to where it impacts whatever project we vote on in a big, big way, right? And people get really excited and they see something happen in the industry that's never happened before. We believe that's also the greatest way to give that project the exposure it deserves. Our community has chosen that project. We think because we've chosen that project that it's a quality project, and that we think that that's the best way you can uplift a quality project, and in the process throw out the shiny objects, right? That's what we believe. Now you have to decide if you believe, right? Do you believe that that's what's going to happen? And if you do, we ask that you join the Sosana family. And I ask that you consider becoming a founding member. If you don't do that now, you can wait. It is going to be, like I said, after Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be $249 for premium members. It's going to be $129 for basic members. You guys are going to be able to make that decision. You can see in the benefits what that entails. But I want you to think about this. As we go through this process, I also believe that we're going to get to a point where our community is so large and so influential in that sense that we're going to attract other token projects, meaning they're going to want to become a part of the nominating process. They're going to be like, man, we love our project. We think our project is the most quality project in crypto. They're going to show up to our community. So it's not just going to come from people in our community nominating projects. It's going to come from projects themselves coming into our community, and they're going to bring their communities with them, aren't they? Let's say a project looks at us and they have 10,000 members, and they tell their community, you know what? We really think this Sosana thing is really cool. It's not competing with us. It's actually complementing us. We've been struggling because you know what? Influencers don't move the needle like they used to. It used to be where you could go to influencers, big or small even, mid-size, small, even big. And you can go to them and you can pay them a certain amount of money. They can talk about your token project and it really moves the needle. Like you can see it go up. That doesn't work like that anymore. And the reason why is because there's just too many projects. They don't know what to do. We're narrowing the playing field in our own community that's growing exponentially. Do you understand what that means? Other projects are going to think, man, all I got to do is hold $500 worth and I can nominate my project, because it's not just the projects that win the vote. It's the projects that make it into the top 25. Just like the professor said, I'm going to look around. I'm going to see what some of those other projects are. All they got to do is hold on to an amazing token called the Sosana token that we believe is going to grow exponentially anyway. Hold on to $500 worth so that they can bring exposure to their project. And we think they're going to bring their community with them, because what are they going to want their community to do? Can anybody guess? What are they going to want them to do? They're going to want them to vote. And you can't vote unless you're holding at least $50 worth of Sosana. So now you got 10,000 people coming in from a community buying at minimum $50 worth of Sosana. And do you think some of them might want to have a little more than $50 just because they think this is so cool? They're going to be like, wow. And do you think those people that came in, do you think they're just going to leave? No, man, they're not going to vote once and leave. They're going to love this process, and they're going to come back and vote in 2 weeks. They're going to keep coming back. I can't think of one reason, and you guys tell me if you can think of one. I can't think of a single reason why someone would not continue to come back week after week, election after election, to find out what the community is going to choose next as the winning project. I cannot imagine a reason, okay? And I don't think you can either. And that's why I think potentially, I've said this before, we could potentially transcend the market, meaning that when the market's down, that doesn't necessarily mean that Sosana is down. Because again, just because Bitcoin goes down 30% doesn't mean people are going to say, oh, no, I'm not coming back for that next election. Bitcoin just went down 30%. No, I think they're going to come back. You guys can tell me what you think, but that's what I think. Okay, now that's not a guarantee. That's what we believe. If you believe in this project, I want to welcome you to the Sosana community and the family that we have. We really are a tight-knit community. I mean, I love these people. We currently only have around 1,500 holders, which is just an infant right now. We're growing day by day. We're beginning to grow. And folks, we haven't even had our first election yet. Can you imagine where we're going to be in our 5th election, 10th election, 20th election? Where will we be? It's almost too scary to think about. So anything else you guys want to add? Brian, Professor, Keith, if you want to come out, you can. Up to you. Anybody have anything else that they want to relate to or bring up?
I'm good.
We good? I'm good. I think we're all good. All right, man. Well, thanks everybody again. Once again, God bless everybody for coming on. I can't believe it's Thursday. I can't believe this is our last call of the week. But we will be back Monday night, same time, same place. Bring your friends. And again, remember, we're building towards the first election that's going to make crypto history. We will see you guys Monday. And everybody have a great weekend.
Awesome, guys.